Hello, fellow detectives. Welcome to Unlocked, the official podcast for all things Nancy Drew by Her Interactive. I'm your host, Tammy Tuckey, and this week, Alyssa Lancaster and Calina Little Jackalope Herman join me for a special roundtable discussion to talk about the 2017 Nancy Drew Convention. So I'm glad to have you guys on the show. Welcome aboard.
No, thank you.
Well, that was like at the same time. I love that.
Jinx.
How early did you guys get to Maine specifically?
Alyssa, you first?
Sure. We got there Thursday night, just in time for the meet and greet. And there were 4 different groups. So I think we were the last group. And we made it just in time for the meet and greet.
I came in that night as well, but I came in really late, so I missed that.
It was the very beginning of the convention, and it was meeting just the other people that had come for the convention. And you walked into this room that they had there at the hotel, and you could make a little necklace charm it was like a little heart-shaped necklace. You could put different colored beads in there and put it on a necklace. And then they also had perfumes that you can make with your own. They had essential oils there, and you could either make up your own scent, or they had like different recipes, all Nancy Drew related. And then that's where you got your goodie bags, and that's where you they had a little scavenger hunt. So they gave you a piece of paper, and you're supposed to spell out Nancy with stamps, and they were located at different locations all around the grounds. And you had to the card gave you your first clue, and then once you got there, it had a little piece of paper, and it would tell you where you could find your next stamp, and it was a lot of fun.
It sounds very extensive. I should not be surprised, because Jen Fisher, who ran the whole entire event from what I know, she's just so talented, and she knows her Nancy Drew stuff. So was it your first time meeting her in person, Alyssa and Calina?
It was. It was really cool to meet her. I was very excited to get the chance to talk to her for a little bit. I know she was extremely busy with this convention. It had the most amount of people, I believe, than any other convention. So I didn't get to talk to her as much, but it was really cool to meet her. And she did a fabulous job with this convention. So many details, things that happened that I didn't even expect were going to happen. She really did a great job.
Yeah, I second that. I mean, this is the second time I've actually met up with Jen Fisher. 2 years ago, I went to the Iowa Nancy Drew convention, and so I met her there. And the first time I met her, I felt like I've known her forever. She's just one of those people who it's very easy to talk to. Shout out to Jen Fisher. She did a terrific job with such a huge group this time, and it was just amazing. Her attention to detail and her level of passion for Nancy Drew, it really wove into the whole trip. Like Alyssa said, there were little details that she would hide here and there, and things that would just make it all the more special for us visiting.
Yes, definitely. It was perfect. It was a perfect vacation.
So can you talk about what happened from breakfast until way late after dinner?
Alyssa got the breakfast.
Yes, I was there for breakfast. They also had later that morning there was a kind of a art display, merchandise sales, and book sales too. And there was a lot of stuff that you can find like on their cafe press shop. The necklaces, bags that were handmade. People brought books from their collection that they were selling, and I was really excited. I found some books that I was needing for my collection. And I mean, we're talking like great prices and everything, and everybody was so friendly. And one of the sleuth fans there had their art collection of from the bookwork, and it was really amazing to see just the detail in this artwork. And I'm really grateful that he came. I believe his name is Jim, and he brought it. Mm-hmm. And I'm really grateful to be able to have seen that. It was really cool.
Now, these are the illustrations, the actual illustrations that were used for the Nancy Drew books that we remember, the Yellowbacks, correct?
Yes, that's it. There was
Yeah.
The Mystery of the 49 Steps, and
Right.
there were a couple others. That one was the one I was really most fascinated with, but he had a really nice collection.
How much money did you spend? No, I'm just kidding. How many things did you get at that point? Like, did you take a lot back with you, or
more than I thought I would? Because I wasn't expecting all the books to be sold there, so I was like, oh, I'm taking more books than I probably should, especially since I'm flying back. I was like, I don't know that I have enough room in my luggage for this, but I'm glad I did. And I did get a really cool handmade bag that has the clue of the leaning chimney on it, just like fabric on there. And let's see, what else did I get? I got like 5 books that I'm very excited about.
Well, we also had the huge gift bag that we were gifted later, and I wasn't expecting to receive that, but that really filled up my suitcase as well. Nancy Drew bags and a few books as well, an extra copy of The Mystery of the Tolling Bell, which the convention was based after as well.
Usually, sometimes the conventions, they have like meals together. So was that necessarily the case, or was it just for dinner or just for lunch? Like, how did that run?
There was really only one meal that we had all together, and that was the mystery dinner on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, after a few of the events, when we weren't like doing things as a big group, I got to hang out with Alyssa for dinner one night after the ghost tour, which was pretty cool because we got to check out the local pizza places. It's funny because that region, they're very popular with lobster pizzas. We didn't get the lobster pizza, but they had some fantastic pizzas so we got to hang out together. So that was great.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And, just like with meeting Jen Fisher, how she's just one of those people you feel like you've known for a long time. I kind of felt that about you. I felt like I'd already knew you, and it was great to hang out and get to know you a little bit better.
Yes, it was so much fun.
Yes, it was really cool. I saw her in our group for the ghost tour, and I was like, oh my God, it's little Jackalope. I have to go over and introduce myself. So it was great to actually, I did. It was great to find you and meet you.
Yeah, I was super excited because I just get crazy excited to see other Nancy Drew game fans or Nancy Drew fans. So we did get to interview a bunch of fans, and Alyssa can attest to this too. We went there and just video interviewed other Nancy Drew game fans, and finding out what it is they like about the games, and just interacting with them and sharing with them. And a part of the goodie bags that were involved with that night, we included our Ultimate Nancy Drew collector's journal in the bags, along with a coupon for a discount on the games in case they had never tried them before. So really it was just about, we were there to capture content, get a whole bunch of fun pictures and video stuff that we can share later, not only to promote Jen Fisher and her conventions for the future, but also, just to make our presence known to the Nancy Drew community as well, because it's interesting to see that a lot of people who love the Nancy Drew books, they don't necessarily know about the Nancy Drew games. So we got to chat with a bunch of fans about that, and that was just super awesome.
That was going to be my next question about whether or not you had talked to Jen about maybe collaborating to pick a specific place that was related to a book, but also a game for the next convention, because I know I was reading several comments and people were asking about that. So was that maybe a secret you could tell us, or did that happen, or?
Well, it's not quite a secret. It's still a work in progress. We are talking with Jen. She's already got several years planned ahead for locations. So the closest that we can come to involving our games is the locations where some of the games are based off of. So we'll be talking with Jen about maybe the Toronto convention coming up will involve maybe the White Wolf of Icicle Creek, because it's set place in Canada. Or like in the Hawaii trip, maybe incorporating the Creature of Kapu Cave, and also especially with a Seattle trip, maybe incorporating Danger on Deception Island, because we've got the the San Juan Islands out there that are based on that game. I think it's been announced. It's on their website, indiesleuths.com. It's on the convention page at the very bottom. You can see the full calendar. Some of the details are not in there, but the locations definitely are. I believe, and Alyssa, you can correct me if you remember, I think the next one is going to be in the Florida Keys.
Yes, I believe that's right. And then the next one after that, 2019, is Toronto.
Well, also, it was so exciting to see there was a picture of you, Pamela Sue Martin, and Parker Stevenson. And Parker played Frank Hardy, and Pamela played Nancy Drew in the 70s TV series. So, Calina, you were geeking out, I hear?
I'm totally geeking out. I'm still starstruck, too, because I loved the TV series. I think that was my favorite rendition of the Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys on the screen at all. And I love those characters and I love those actors. So I was totally fangirling inside. On the outside, I was trying to be professional and everything. But on the inside, I was totally fangirling at that mystery dinner when I saw them. And we got that picture taken, and I was just over the moon. And I was super excited, too, when I learned that I got to sit at the head table and in the ballroom area. And that's the same table that Pamela and Parker were sitting at.
Oh,
and
my Lord.
Parker was like just across from me, kitty corner. And I was super excited. At one point, nobody really made the announcement about dessert, but I noticed that people were getting dessert. Then I noticed that Pamela and Parker didn't have dessert. So I'm like, I'm going to be that fangirl, and I'm going to go get dessert, and I'm going to bring it back to them so that I can say, I brought Parker Stevenson his dessert. Pamela apparently had gotten an extra copy of the Apple Crisp or whatever, but it was just exciting to be able to do that. But I did overhear a few things from them, and it was just real exciting to hear just a few behind-the-scenes things, like how much that Pamela and Parker enjoyed doing the show and how much they enjoyed working together. And you could see Pamela and Parker's interactions, like they were good friends. They knew each other for a while.
The timing couldn't have been any better because kind of around the same time you posted the photo, they announced that they're trying to reboot the Nancy Drew TV series. And I was like, this is kind of interesting. It's all working out together.
Interesting is the word. Yeah. No, I heard NBC is looking to pick up or redo a new Nancy Drew TV series, a little bit different than what CBS had scripted. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. I'm always hesitant with the Nancy Drew brand because there's so many different interpretations of Nancy that no matter which interpretation you go with, someone will be a little bit upset about it. But if they cast right and if they write it right, then good for them. I am totally excited to see where they will go with it.
I think pretty much along the same lines. It'll be interesting to see their take on it and how it will go. It's kind of a fine line. It can either go really great or go really south. And I mean, I would like to see something that sticks more to the original mysteries and see them have adventures with that. I don't know that I would want to see anything too new just because I really haven't seen one with so close to the original mysteries. I'm kind of, I don't know, old school, I guess, that way.
Was anybody dressed up for the convention, by the way? Did anybody dress up as a specific character from the books or from the computer games?
Well, Alyssa dressed up. I kind of tried. A lot of people did dress up for the mystery dinner because it was half optional to dress up like a character from the book that was being featured, and a lot of people just chose to dress up nice. A lot of people dressed up similar to Nancy Drew's style, so it was really cool to see. Even the TV series characters, like I think I saw a few guys dressed up as Inspector Svalin from the episode Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys Meet Dracula. Yep. So we've seen a few renditions of those kind of characters. It was great.
Yeah, it was really cool to see everybody dressed up and everything. It was really fun.
I don't know if anyone who is listening to this has read the book Mystery of the Tolling Bell, but there's an illustration inside that book that goes along with Nancy she's drugged and she falls asleep on the beach or the rocky coast, and she dreams that 2 elves picked her up and carried her away. And that's when she wakes up and realizes that she's not on the beach anymore. She's in a ditch. And that picture illustration, some ladies who were big fans dressed up as elves, and they had a doll that looked like Nancy. And so they were just walking through the dinner. Did you see that, Alyssa?
Yes, I did. It was great. I think we got a few pictures of it too.
It was hilarious.
My Lord.
Yes. It was awesome.
And so the final day, how did that kind of wrap up? Was there like a final goodbye?
No, I think a lot of people I think they just went their own ways. I think a lot of people, hung out a little bit longer, explored the town, stayed for a few days longer, and others had to get out of there earlier. So I'm not sure if there was like a proper goodbye.
Well, the mystery dinner seemed to be kind of just the end of it all for the convention, and lots of people promising to look each other up on Facebook and saying goodbye there. And then I guess, I think a few people stayed around, and I know some people came early and then left pretty soon after the convention. So.
And what did you think overall about Maine itself? Was there anything in particular that you would suggest to a fan who's listening to the show to definitely go to, a restaurant, or just to see a beautiful view?
Oh, I've got a long list.
Please, go ahead. I want to hear
it. You first, Alyssa.
I'm just ready to move there. It was so gorgeous. Yeah. So many beautiful trees, fall color. The coast was amazing. We went to Agwanquit Beach, and I kind of had a Nancy Drew moment there because there were holes in the sand, and I knew that clams. I was like, I need a clamming tube. I need to try this because it's so Danger on Deception Island. It was so much fun. And we went to Barnacle Billy's off of Perkins Cove. The best lobster I've ever had. It was so tender and very flavorful. I would definitely recommend going there if you want a good lobster.
That sounds. In my head, I kept calling it Barnacle Blast, which is not correct. I'm haunted carousel.
Yes, that's right.
It does sound good, though. I love that. Just makes me want to go up just for the lobster.
Definitely should. It was so good there. They don't have too much else on the menu. You can get like a lobster roll, and I think they had a few other things. I was really just excited for the lobster, and you can see as they're preparing it, they had 2 big tubs full of live lobster. They'd grab one, threw it in the boiling pan, and I mean, it would be ready 20 minutes later, and it was really good. And then to sit out on the balcony right next to Perkins Cove with the ships or the boats just right there, you can watch them come and go. It was beautiful.
Well, I had a few Nancy Drew moments myself, but I would totally suggest everyone to read that Nancy Drew book and actually go to Algonquin, because there are actually so many references. It's not even, there's too many coincidences to make it, that book was totally based off of that area. You could see all the names of the different areas and the locations and the way the coast is. It's just totally a Nancy Drew place to go. It's such a charming town, too. There's so many different things there. The outside, the shops are just so cute. I think I went to a tea shop and got some tea and teacups. There was an ice cream shop called Abbott's, and the inside of it looked exactly like Scoop from Alibi and Ashes. It was hilarious. Cool. Just being out at the beach by Anchorage by the Sea, that hotel, and it was just so cool just to be along the beach there. It was gorgeous, and the weather was super for that time of the year too. I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, it was perfect weather. A little chilly in the mornings and the evenings, but middle of the day, it was, like Calina said, it was 60s, 70s. It was perfect weather.
And you'll be posting some videos too when you get a chance, because you guys just got back. I'm not expecting you to post anything anytime soon, but
oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, on my screen, what I'm looking at right now is a montage video of all the pictures that I took while there. So by the time that this podcast airs, that video will be live on YouTube.
You know, girls, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was actually really fun because we really haven't done a round table before on the show. Well, I think this episode's going to come around the time of Halloween, so happy Halloween, everybody!
Happy Halloween, y'all.
Happy Halloween.